So I got a new pair of barefoot shoes and I really like these. Let's talk about the Lems Primal 2. What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in my quest for minimalist footwear and the shift for a more natural lifestyle when it comes to my clothing, accessories, and what I put on my feet, I've landed on the Lems Primal 2 as another addition to my footwear collection. My first introduction into the zero drop footwear space was with the Xero Shoes Prio, and I've actually done a video on that shoe already. If you want to watch that later on, I'll put a link down in the description and I'll tag it up here to the top. It's a great shoe. It was a really good first one for me to sort of get used to as far as this minimalist, more naturally shaped footwear lifestyle. But the next addition to that collection is the Lems Primal 2, and I think it is a fantastic minimalist shoe. I'm gonna give you some breakdowns for the shoe itself and why I like it so much. Before we dive deep into the review of the Lems Primal 2, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new to the channel, sometimes we do videos on movement tips, sometimes we do videos on health education, and other times videos on fitness gear reviews just like this one. So if that stuff interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you enjoyed today's video, please drop a like down below. That helps the algorithm push this kind of stuff out to more people just like yourself, and it helps the channel grow. For me, there are two main things that I look for when it comes to a minimalist shoe to make sure that it's something that I would want to purchase and have on my feet on a regular basis. And that is a naturally shaped wide toe box and zero drop foot platform. The reason I care about these two things so much is because I have spent most of my life in shoes that are designed not really for feet. The modern tennis shoe is very pointed in its design and it crams the toes together. It kind of kills some of the muscles that we need to use to spread, display, to balance, and do all the things that our feet are designed to handle. And a lot of modern shoes don't do that. So I'm really looking for shoes now that have a wide enough toe box to allow me to spread my feet and to use them the way that they were designed to be used. The zero drop thing is super important to me as well because we live in a society where comfortable shoes are those that have elevated heels and a ton of cushioning between the earth and your arches. What that does is it artificially creates some shortening of the heel cord and it ruins sort of the mechanics of the foot when it comes to walking, running, or jumping, any of that kind of stuff. So having that zero drop, which basically means from the heel to the toe, there's zero change in that incline, allows for your foot to work in the way that it was supposed to as you take steps and as you move, to engage the heel cord a little bit more appropriately and give your foot more of a natural feel as you're moving throughout your world. The Lems Primal 2 checks both of these boxes exceptionally well. As you can tell from right here, this has a very wide, naturally shaped toe box, and I love this so much because when I put my feet inside of the shoes, I don't feel like they're being crammed together. I feel like I have the freedom to be able to move around the way that I want to. I have switched to wearing toe socks over the past couple of months so that my feet aren't held down by socks that are too tight for my feet and by shoes that are too tight for my feet. I really feel like I have a ton of freedom when I put these on. Another thing that you'll notice about these is that they have that zero drop. From the heel all the way down through to the forefoot, there's no change in height at all. So when I put these on, I feel like they're flat and I feel like I can engage the arch in my foot the way that I was designed to, and they feel really good. Now some of you may be saying, Caden, I've got really weak arches. I've been told by my doctor that I need to put inserts in my shoes and I have to have motion control and I need all of these things for my feet because they're weak. And what I'm gonna say to you is, yeah, your feet are weak and that's why you need to be in a flat shoe.
Oh, okay, got that.
Putting arch supports in an already super soft and comfortable and artificially padded shoe is only going to continue to kill your feet further, and it's not going to force you to engage the muscles and move the bones in the way that they're supposed to be moved in order to create a good stable foot. By getting into a flat shoe like this, you're starting to force yourself to actually have to engage your arch and create some stability on your own, and that's why I'm a huge advocate for people to get out of comfortable shoes and into more minimalist footwear. One thing to note when it comes to the construction of this shoe is that although it does have a zero drop, it has a 9mm stack height. And for those of you who don't know, the stack height is basically the distance from the bottom of the outsole to where your foot rests on the inside of the shoe. For this, it's 9mm, and that's including the 3.5mm insole. You can take the insole out of the shoe and get a little bit closer to the ground if that's something that you're after, but there is that small layer of padding in between the ground and your foot that is optional to decrease if you really want to do that. As far as style goes, when it comes to these, they have a couple of different colors. I happen to have the green colorway. The slate colorway is one that I think I will probably pick up in the future, just style-wise. I think it looks really good. But honestly, at first, I wasn't really sure what I was gonna think as far as how these looked. They do have a little bit of an outdoorsy sort of Boulder, Colorado sort of feel, which is fitting because Lems is based out of Boulder, Colorado, but you certainly get that hiker outdoorsy feel when it comes to these shoes by the way that they look and the way that they feel and the way they kind of present themselves. When you look at this, the entire upper has mostly this sort of weave mesh, which is pretty nice, super breathable. I can feel the air going in through and touching my toes, especially with how cold it is outside. But it's also kind of layered with sort of this suede material as well, which is really soft and really moldable and comfortable. The shoes are very flexible. They can bend almost all the way around to each other. And the sole seems to hold up pretty well for itself. I do notice a little bit of, sort of the glue that holds it together around the edges in this back portion. Maybe will come apart in a good time's use, but I've been wearing these for about 2 weeks and I really enjoy the way that they've held up so far. The entire upper actually is also 100% vegan. So if that's something that matters to you as far as how your shoes are made and what materials are used for that, everything, including the laces and the entire upper, is 100% vegan. So you can feel really good about what you're putting on your feet. The outsole, in my opinion, has a pretty cool tread pattern. It actually sort of looks like the shape of a leaf towards the middle of the foot, even has a leaf looking Lems logo as well. But very good traction. It's certainly durable and it looks like it's something that can handle the elements if you want to take it on a nice light hike, or if you've got to walk on some rocks or other stuff like that. This thing will not fall apart easily, and I think that they did a really good job of getting a nice tread pattern through the bottom of this shoe. One thing to note about the sole on the outside is it has this little curved, rounded edge towards the back of the heel. It kind of creates this rocking motion, which when I'm wearing my Xeros, they don't have. It's purely flat from the heel all the way to the front. So when I first put these on, I noticed that difference. I've noticed sort of that roundness, that weird sort of rocking feeling, which was strange to me at first, but I very quickly got used to it. So if you're someone who has been wearing more flat shoes like the Xeros in the past and you haven't tried these out yet, this is gonna feel a little bit weird, but you will get used to it and it'll be a nice transition between the two. It's not something that I would consider a negative, it's just something to have to get used to. Let's talk about what is the best use case for this shoe. And really, it's meant to be an everyday shoe, something that you wear with, regular clothes. I happen to be able to wear workout stuff when I come here to work every single day, so they fit my style pretty well, and I can be comfortable, and I can wear these with jeans or some shorts if I want to. But as far as it being an everyday shoe, is it something that you can exercise in? And for me, that's pretty important. I want to know if it's something that I can do some lifting in, some light running, maybe some light cardio workouts, maybe a little bit of CrossFit. Does this stand the test for some of that stuff? And I've used them a little bit for weightlifting. I took them for a spin on the Air Runner and they handle some light activity pretty well. I'm not entirely sure if I were to put these through weeks and weeks of CrossFit training, if they would be the appropriate shoe for that. And I still have plenty of shoes that I want to pick up in the future to test in my fitness. But as far as stationary weight training, squatting, deadlifting, pressing, things like that, you definitely can wear the Lems Primal 2, and I think they will hold up pretty well as a workout shoe for that stuff. As far as cost goes, these run at around $105 US, which in my opinion is a pretty good price for the type of shoe that you're getting. The Xero Prios were $89, so that's the cheapest that I've seen so far. There's plenty of others out there that are pushing the boundaries as far as what the price is, but this falls nicely in sort of that middle of the road gap, and I think is well worth the money if you're gonna pick up a pair, especially if it's your very first pair of minimalist shoes. My lovely fiance also picked me up a pair of the Lems Boulder Boot, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's got some leather in the upper and it's built in very much the same way, has the same wide toe box, same zero drop design, and it looks really good and it feels really good on my feet. So as a consumer of multiple products from Lems, I'm super impressed with what they're able to put together for people, and I definitely will be buying more of these in the future. If there's anything that I left out or that you want to know about either the Primal 2 or Lems in general, please drop that in the comments. I'm open to anything, and I would love to make more videos to help you guys learn more about the things that you want to be purchasing for yourself so that you can make your lives better. As of right now, shooting this video, I don't have an affiliate link for Lems, but if I do by the time we publish it, it'll be down in the description. Even if I don't have a link for you guys, I still would recommend that you head on over to Lems and shop for the Primal 2 or any other shoe that you might want to grab from them. They're a really good company. They have a really good mission when it comes to how they make their shoes and what they want to achieve as far as helping people live a little bit of a healthier and happier lifestyle by taking care of their feet first. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Like today's video if you haven't already. And until next time, just go out and do good things for people, and don't forget to move. I'll catch you in next week's video.
Keep me company downtown before the clock runs out. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby.